Hello, my name is Tia Harrell, and my pen name is TMH Writer. And I have here today my ARC reader, Angie, and my beta reader, Donna. And both of these ladies are my friends, and we're going to today talk about my books. So, without further ado, let's get into it.
All right.
We have a lot of books to cover since the last time we spoke. The
Right.
Dark Cloud series ended. We had a
Mm-hmm.
Christmas, a Christmas edition Kindle Vella. I just
Mm-hmm.
ended the Valentine's Day Kindle
Mm-hmm.
Vella, and then everybody's favorite Stranger in the Mirror, which story is coming to a close shortly
Right. Right.
this weekend.
Okay. Yep. I
So
can see where it's headed now.
I'm going to conclude that story so I can rewrite the this Lucky Girl book one part two. So that story has evolved. So I have to go ahead and rewrite that and
Mm-hmm.
make sure everything aligns.
Right. Right.
Any questions? Who wants to start it off?
Well, it's been interesting. I like the rewrite opposed
Mm-hmm.
to originally. Um, I mention it, every time. I just could not get into the fact of how it happened initially because it was just a little too unreal. And the main part being that Sonya never once went to, this is
Right.
someone that you're married to. You never
Right.
went to, I don't care what you're doing.
Right.
You're not working, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You have
Right.
time. You're rich. You can jump a
Right.
flight and even you come back the same day. So I think that
Right.
was kind of, but then when you started rewriting it where, okay, fake Terry was like, okay, let's see what's going on. And after she read the diary, I thought that was a good way to
Yep.
change everything up because you can relate a little bit better. I
Right.
know it's fiction, Tia. I know it's fiction, but you still relate to the characters, whether it's fiction
Correct.
or not. So
That's
when
right.
you changed everything around, it became a little bit more believable
Yes.
because there's no one, especially if you waited for this person your entire life almost, all
Right.
the stuff that Terry took you through, and you finally
Mm-hmm.
said I do, and something like this happened, even especially as a doctor, your
Right.
first instinct would have been, let me get here,
Right.
no matter what.
Right.
So I like the way you changed that and made it a little bit more people friendly, a little more understandable and relatable. So yeah.
Right. And what I told her, I said, this is your soulmate.
Hmm.
And the soulmate experience is you have a connection that goes deeper than anything physical or emotional. You know them from a deeper level. And so even though Fo Terry had no memories, active memories of Sonia, she could feel her, she could sense her because they were soulmates. And so somehow we needed to, or as Tia needed to convey that, so that the love is real. It's not something that just comes and goes because there's a traumatic event that happens, even a brain trauma, but
Right.
it goes deeper than that. And to see her um, kind of right outside the box, so to speak, to include the magnitude of that soul connection is what sealed the deal for me. And to
Right.
watch how Fo Terry has responded to her in a way that Terry never did. Terry was on the fringes a lot of times with with her emotions with Sonya. She played her a lot. Well, Fo Terry
Yes.
doesn't do that. She apologizes right away. She tries to put people in check when they mistreat her, and I love this version of
Yes.
Terry
Yes.
for real
Yes.
We get
because
to
the other
Yes.
one was confusing to
we
me.
get to see the version of Terry without the trauma, and that's what it boils down to. We get
Well,
to
it may not be no trauma, but the way she treated someone who loved
right,
her
right. But what I'm
unconditionally.
saying is, we get to see Terry the way Terry would have reacted to Sonya without the trauma, without the
You
trauma.
don't know that. You can't say that.
I
Right.
can
Trauma
say it as
doesn't.
the writer, yes.
Well, I mean, but
Yes.
what I'm saying is
I'm
that
saying it. I'm saying I'm giving y'all a bird's eye view of Terri without the trauma. So this is Terri without the trauma, and the way she reacted to Sonya is Terri without the trauma. Period.
I get that, but what I'm saying is the Terry before the brain injury was very indecisive.
Mm-hmm.
She took Sonya through lots of different changes, and it
took her for
kept
granted.
Sonya off balance
Mm-hmm.
because she didn't know from one minute to the next. She was with Aaron, and then she liked Mike, and then she had and it just like she flirted and lived on the fringes of this relationship with her.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Faux Terry just jumped in and said, "Hey, I don't understand all this. I don't understand what happened, but I do know there's something in me that loves you." And she protects that. And that's the Terry that I've always wanted to see. Now, of course, we see it later, in This Love is Christmas and the
And this love is
Valentines.
real book 2 toward the end.
Yeah, I'm book two
Again,
toward the end,
you
but
definitely see it because Terri had time to heal. Terri had time to deal with all of her demons. And once she was able to do that and fully accept Sonya's love, then yes, you see the Terri that you guys love.
but
But
the
both
but that the book
but we'll
ended before we got to see the relationship. And so
Right,
we didn't get
right.
to
see
see, the evolution
The
of the
growth. Yep.
relationship
Yes.
until Christmas
until
and a
Dark
little bit
Cloud
in
series.
the Dark Cloud series.
You
But
got
that
to
was
see it
still
in Dark,
traumatic.
of course.
I'm looking for the love part. I'm looking for the
It
romance.
ain't
The
always
romance.
love. Even in life, it's not you don't always have
I
love
get
without
that,
bumps and bruises.
but I'm saying in terms of the relationship, the evolution of the relationship,
Mm-hmm.
you get to see it in Christmas and in Valentine's. You get to see how they relate not only to each other, but to their children and the true partnership that they've developed, you
Yes.
know. And that's the part that had been missing
Mm-hmm.
because once she really started to heal and came back from the hidden with Ed, the book ended pretty much. you know,
Epilogue.
it was gone, and so we didn't get to see the evolution of the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Right.
so that was my position. I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this whole thing with Zion, I don't know what's getting ready to happen, but I know one
You know
thing: he
what
in bad
happens.
news. Okay,
You know
and
what happens.
I know it happens, but I don't know what happened to
How
get
it
her
happens
pregnant.
this time. Yeah.
Right. I don't know how she got pregnant this time.
But
With the
you know
with
what?
the new book.
I mean, interrupt you, Donna, but and I was telling to you about this that
Hmm.
the way fake Terry is now, FT is now,
Yeah. Yeah.
you can't lead that story the same way
Right.
because right now you have someone like you say who is truly devoted to this
Right.
person who goes
Right.
over and above and beyond and down under to protect them.
Right.
So now, even though you are, and now, especially now, because you're getting your memory back, you're having
Right.
flashes of
Right.
memory.
Right.
So how are we gonna go from all, and then
He,
you know what kind of
he,
person Zion is.
he's having flashes of her memory, but not good flash. Well, she doesn't
Right, right,
understand the flashes right now. So
right. What I'm
Right.
saying is she's having some flashes and
yeah.
she doesn't like Zion. So how are we gonna go through this? And if
Well,
she
well,
does for whatever,
well, well, well. It's not that she doesn't like Zion now. She likes hanging around Zion now because when she's around him, she doesn't get flashes.
right, right. But what I'm
So
saying
she,
is
well, spending
But
a
it's
lot of
nothing.
she
time with
doesn't trust him
somebody.
though, Tia.
No, she
Right,
doesn't.
exactly. That's
She
right.
doesn't.
That's my
Right,
point. That's my
but
point.
she doesn't trust him. But when you start to spend time with people, you start to let your guard down around them.
Right, you
So
have to let your guard down, bury it under the house before you end up sleeping with it. That's the point I'm trying. How we're
Right.
gonna
I
segue
don't let
to
my
that.
guard
y'all,
around
y'all
people
see
that
how that y'all, you're gonna
I
see
don't let
what
my guard down
happens
around people
eventually.
that have
But this
that
is
I'm
somebody
leery
who
of.
doesn't have any life experience. She doesn't
It
have any
doesn't
life
matter.
experience.
Well,
It,
but
It's
it
the
she knows
same
matters.
what
thing.
she
It's
feels.
like she's a child. It matters. She doesn't have any life experience.
Well,
Learning.
okay. So what you're saying is, even though we were children and we did asinine things when we get, as a child, we're not responsible for our actions.
Yeah, there are
I,
some
I
kids. I mean, I've been around kids. I have nieces and nephews. There are some things that they do that they don't understand it because they are so young and they don't understand. You
right,
have
but Terry, right
to teach.
now, she has lived enough, and her memory has been enough where she knows. Because I think I
It's
mentioned this
only
to you once
been
before.
it's only been a year, so
Okay,
she's
right,
only really
okay.
been living life for a year, and
What I'm
she's
saying is,
learning and
let
balancing relationships, and she's she has a lot of friends now. Before she was worried because she was lonely, so she's navigating life right now.
so she
So
knows better, because if she goes out there and shoot or kill someone, do you think the police is going to say, well, she's lost her memory and she hasn't experienced life? No, they're not. So you still, even though you have lost your memory, like you said, over a year, you've watched your parent. You
Right.
watch CJ and Ann, you've seen Joyce, so you've seen all your friends with their mates and their loved ones and partners and everything. So even if you have not lived it and experienced yourself, you
Mm-hmm.
do know right and wrong. That is something that is just in you regardless. So
right, right, but
if you go
there are
off, if you,
people that do things. I mean, even teenagers, there are people that do things out of the ordinary. So we're going to
and
see what
absolutely,
happens. We're going to see
she's
what
not a
happens.
teenager. She's not a teenager.
Well,
I'm not
my
So I
saying
mean, you
she's a
can't.
teenager. I'm saying she
She's
doesn't
not,
have any life experiences.
that doesn't
my
mean
So
still
position
know
is
right and
this:
wrong. You're
she
born
knows
into it.
how Zion made
yeah,
Sonya feel,
yeah,
and so
Exactly.
even though she
Yes.
may let her guard down somewhat when she's
Yes.
around him, she shouldn't, because she knows that he has the propensity to
Yes.
really hurt her wife. And this
yeah,
is
Yes.
someone that she adores.
yeah,
And so, for
Yep.
that reason and that reason only,
yeah,
she should have her guard up. Period.
And this, if let's say she does let her guard down and sleep with this guy, now you get your memory back. When she knocks on Sonia's door, Sonia should ask, "Who is it?" No, we're not coming. You're not getting back in here like this. We're gonna have to start from scratch. You're gonna have to earn this.
You're going to have
So
to
that's
earn
what
it.
I'm
That's
saying. You
right.
can't just walk back in and after so long,
Right.
because that's what, and I keep saying this, even though in the
Right.
when you first wrote the second book,
Mm-hmm.
there's no way that
Right.
you should have welcomed Terry back in, because whether she had her memory or not, you knew you were married. You knew what being married was, whether you accepted it or not, and you had an open relationship where the whole world was able to see. I
Right.
divorced your ass, and
Girl.
and then
Girl.
if once you got your memory back and you decided that you want to try this again, that's one thing. But I would have not have been humiliated, or Sonya had to, oh, don't let us see the Facebook, don't let us see the videos, don't watch the news, don't read the paper. She had to sit back and watch her soulmate, someone
Right.
that took her through hell, and she finally she got what she wanted, and it was taken away from them through no fault of their own. I'm not saying that, but to just let Terry just flaunt her ass right back up in here like nothing happened, no way.
No,
That just
after 3 weeks.
after 3 weeks.
She woke,
That's
got her
right.
memory, and then she still wouldn't go see her.
No, I
And
don't want to
that's
see
the
her
point that
face.
really, I'm like,
Yes, that's it.
But you know
Look,
what?
you gonna see Aaron and your business? No. That
Right. I
yeah.
don't trust that heifer anyway. But
Me either.
Tia,
I can't
what
stand
I
her. I can't
what I
stand her.
oh, I can't stand Aaron. What I like about what Tia's doing though is book 2 is going to be a total rewrite,
Yes,
because
yes,
you cannot interject book 2 in the love that we saw in Faux Terry or Stranger in the Mirror.
exactly. Yeah.
It don't match.
It don't
So
match.
there has to be something else,
Yeah.
and there has to be a communication of Sonia's heart being broken
Yes.
and Terry understanding that heartbreak,
Right.
because she was like, well, if you can't accept me and my babies, then the hell with you. I'm going to
Right.
raise them by
Right.
myself. That is not the
Right.
response you're supposed to have. The response is,
Right.
baby, whatever it takes, I'm going to wait for you because you are my soulmate,
And you
you
waited for
know,
me all
and you
this
were there
time.
for me, and I'm going to be here
Always.
for you. And that's
Yes.
the selfishness that I hated with her.
Yes. Me
So
too.
I'm
Me
looking
too.
forward to the rewrite
Yeah.
because I want to see a more emotionally available Terri
Yeah.
than the one in the original book 2.
Yeah.
Now,
Because she was
You mean
selfish as hell in the
book
beginning.
2 book 1 part 2.
yeah, book 1, part 2.
Book 1, part
Now,
2. Yeah. She
now
was
here's
selfish.
the other thing.
Selfish.
Yeah, I couldn't stand it. Here's the other thing. What the hell was wrong with Anne?
See, that's another one. She's another one.
Girl,
Oh my
I
God.
want to slap her.
Yes. Yes.
But when
Yes.
Terri got on her, I was like, yeah, that's what I'm
Exactly.
talking about.
You see how
He was like,
protective.
you don't get to talk to
But
her
it was
like that. If it
but it was
you
Terri.
was CJ,
Wasn't for Terri. That was Terri speaking.
I don't care who it was. He
Right.
got it that ass,
Right.
and
He
that was
know
good.
better. Yes, he
Okay.
did.
I was
Hmm.
like, yeah, buddy.
Fine.
That's
Yeah.
how you
Yeah.
defend your love.
That's
You
right.
don't let anybody disrespect your love. And
Yes.
she just told her, you don't do that for CJ. He makes time for you. What makes you think I'm not gonna make time for her? Because it was
Hmm.
almost like she was trying to get rid of her.
Yep.
It's just like, really?
Yeah, that's what I felt.
It's like, has this heifer lost her mind?
She's drunk on her connection with her. She's really enjoying her connection with.
You still the parent. You're not the
Right.
lover.
Yeah, but she's only what 6 months into parenting.
You still the parent and not the
That was
lover.
her
Yeah,
choice. That
yeah,
was her choice.
Right.
See, Anne is, she's always been jealous of Joyce, but
yeah,
Right.
Anne made the bad decisions.
yeah,
Now the bad decision wasn't that you let your sister raise your child because you
yeah.
were only a
And,
child yourself.
Right.
Anne's
But
not as mature as Joyce is. So Anne
but
made a lot of mistakes that
right,
Joyce is really upset. She's upset
she
with
is.
everything, but what can
She
she
is
really do
absolutely right.
right
Well,
now?
my
Right.
problem with Anne is when her sister and brother-in-law were killed, that she didn't
Yes.
step up. I get it, you're
Yep.
grieving, but here's a
Yes.
15-year-old,
That's
you
right.
know, and as an adult, you step up for your kids. You step up for
Hmm.
the young people because they can't do it on their own.
Right.
And
Right.
so you might have took a year to grieve, but this kid was out here for 3, 4 years floundering. And where
Hmm.
were you? Just working, working, working. And so, do I have a whole lot of empathy for her? I do not. I
Me.
think Terri was
Yeah.
very big hearted to
Hmm.
accept her the way she did. And
Well,
that's
Joyce had a lot to do with it,
of
though.
course, that's why I love Joyce.
Yeah.
Joyce kind of, you know,
Hmm.
put her on the right path because Terri, she was like, mm-mm.
Right,
She
right.
was pissed at both of them. That's still going to happen. She's still going to be upset with CJ and Ann. She's going to be upset the way they treated. Well, not that they treated Joyce and Freddie bad, but she's going to be upset that Joyce and Freddie wasn't more involved with her life when she had her
Hmm.
when she didn't have her memory. She's going to be upset with a lot of stuff, but
And
she's going to deal with it differently. But
good, because if the shoe was on the other foot,
yeah.
Joyce would have made certain
Oh, absolutely.
that
Yes.
Terri
Yes.
didn't turn her back on Anne and
Absolutely.
CJ.
Absolutely.
But
That's why
those two are way too giddy about that and too,
yeah.
nonchalant
Yes.
and
Yeah.
cavalier about it. As
Yeah.
if, okay,
Right.
this is our child. We got this moment. We're
Yeah.
gonna no, because if it wasn't for these other two
Hmm.
to soften the blow, you might not be in a position with this child.
Yeah.
And not this child. She's a woman, but you know what I'm saying.
Absolutely. So
Right.
CJ and Ann really did a misstep and Terry called
Yes.
them on it. So that
Yeah.
that part's still going to be there. That part's
Yeah.
still going to be there. So they have a lot of redemption they need to do
But
because
it needs to be developed a little bit more because all we saw was you're grieving for Terri and her musical career, but it has to be
I'm
bigger than just
rewriting.
that.
I'm rewriting it.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. It has
That's
to
the
be
whole.
bigger than
That's
that.
the whole point of me rewriting this book. I'm going to show everything. I'm going
Yeah,
to show how the way they treated Joyce and Freddie. Not that they kept them away, but they didn't encourage Terry to put the olive branch out a little more. So
right.
all of that is going to be addressed. So
Yep, yep. And so I wanted to see, um, I actually wanted to see a little bit more of Freddie.
mhm.
It's like,
Yeah.
in Stranger, he wasn't,
Freddie is
really,
around. Freddie
he's
is
around, but you don't see a lot of interaction.
yeah.
He's
You don't.
around,
You
but
you don't, but he's definitely around, as you saw in the last episode. He's around.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
around. He's keeping watch. He's not gonna let anything happen to Terry. So he's
yeah,
definitely around.
yeah. But you know what? You and I had this conversation before, and I think of all the books, all the series, this has been by far my favorite.
Hmm.
Yes. Yeah.
It is not. It's explosive. It has all the
Yes.
drama, but it's
Yes.
also hot.
Yes.
Okay, it's hot, and that's what you want because that sexual tension, that pull, that magnetism with your soulmate is naturally explosive and hot. And
Right.
so we got to see all that play out. And before it just seemed to be really vanilla, and Aaron was the sexy one, and blah, blah, blah. And here we see Sonya rocking it, dance, learning to dance and really showing her sexuality, that she's not
Yes.
some nerdy doctor waiting around, for this really hot musician, singer, songwriter, chef, entrepreneur. But hell, she's rocking it. She's a brilliant
Yes.
doctor. She's
Right.
strong. She's sexy. She got fire. And
Right.
so that's the Sonya that I was waiting to
Yeah.
emerge.
Yeah.
And she
Totally different.
emerged. Yes,
Totally
ma'am.
different.
I'm
Yeah.
loving it. It's
But
my it's by
also
far my
too,
favorite.
and you have to look at it, I was a, I was a little torn with Sonya in the beginning because I thought that she was just weak. But this has
Hmm.
shown her in a different light because,
Yep.
like we were saying, when Terry first, she first got a memory back,
Right.
first person she was, even before then, when she first came home from the hospital, when Aaron came through, her and Aaron just clicked. And everything she went, it was always Aaron was there. When she first
Right.
woke up, I'm going to see Aaron and check on my and as Sonya, and where Terry didn't
Hmm.
understand then is, okay, I've had to compete, whether you say so or not, with Aaron all along, and I still
Right.
have to look in this woman's face every day.
Right.
And the first
Exactly.
thing that you do is, and I have not been able to see you and be with you. You tell me, oh, I gotta, get my mind right. I notice I can see her crying through the phone, and I just can't. I don't want to face that now. I'm gonna go check on my business. Who does that? And that's your soulmate. Because now you awake,
Exactly.
so I can't
Exactly.
excuse you. And the first thing that you should have wanted to know, like the first, and I'm gonna tell you why I know that Terry was full of. Well, I forget we're on the record. Is because
Hey,
the
it's
first
satellite,
thing
so
that
we can say what we want to.
when she was full of shit is this.
Right.
You knew enough to tell him, who is this man, this guy sitting here? Get him out of here. You see
Right.
how quick she did that? See,
Yep.
and that's why
Yep.
I said, because I just told Tia the other day, I said, Sonya, means Terry exploited Sonya. I don't
Yep.
care what was in her heart.
Right.
She knew that if nothing else, because she would always say, well,
Hmm.
I don't know if I want to be with a woman. I don't know if I'm whatever. But yet every chance you turn around, you in the bed with Aaron. See, those
Right.
are the things that made you just like, okay, we see where you coming from. Yes, you are
Right.
flawed. Yes, you've been through. Yes, everyone needs redemption and all of, I get that. But at the same time, no matter what happens to you in life, it does
Yep.
not give you license to mistreat someone else,
Correct.
especially someone who's only trying to love you unconditionally. Because if
Right.
you feel you can't accept that and return that, you leave that person alone. It is not just up to them to leave you
Right.
alone. You leave them alone. But she didn't do
Exactly.
that because she wanted her cake and eat it too. Like I said,
Yes,
so when
ma'am.
the fake Terri came out, when Sonya showed up in that car with that red and everything changed, I said, oh, this is the way I saw it, where it would be,
Yep.
because especially everything you went through, because you don't have that filter, so you don't have
Right.
those memories of, okay, I was not sure, I didn't know if I wanted to. It's not. You meet someone right now standing before you, so the same thing. The slate is clean, and that's where you start
Right.
from. But the first
Right.
thing, she always runs to Aaron. So Sonya has had to put up with way more than anyone else. And I
Right.
just felt that when she got her memory back, and 3 weeks later, you pop up on my step, oh, I'm gonna buy you this. No, no, there's no way in hell, in
Mm-mm.
reality, a person could come up in here and do that all this
Nope.
time.
Right.
No way, no way, no way. And you didn't slept and paraded around with this guy, because whether you had your memory or not, you knew you were married because that's what everyone told you.
Right.
So you should have said, okay, well, let me divorce. You didn't do any of that. You did what you want to do. And
Right.
Sonya, my fault lies with her. You should have divorced Terri. There's no way you go. I don't. That's not a soulmate thing, because now Terri's off the reservation. There's nothing you can do about that. You should have let her go. But Terri should have worked harder to get her back. Sonya just opened
Yeah.
up the door, let her in, which is why she almost had that nervous breakdown in the shower. Because now that's a lot to take. Because I'm getting these Vietnam flashbacks of you with this man. Now you carrying this man babies. Come
Right.
on, see that? Yeah, yeah,
Right. And because the love is real, I don't know if I would have divorced her, but I damn sure would have made sure that she had to woo me. She couldn't just come back in like, "Hey baby, I'm home and it's all good." No. You got to woo me. It's got to be something more going on than that.
yeah,
And you're going to have to give me space to deal with the fact
yes,
that now you're pregnant,
yes, yes,
and I got to
yes,
deal with that. We don't know what these babies are going to look like. And I don't know if I'm going to have to look in his face through these kids for the rest of my life. So, miss me with that other stuff. So that,
yes,
so I'm with you on that. I wanted to see a powerful, sexy, desirable, brilliant Sonya, and I got to see that. And
yes.
I
She
got
she
a
she
I
wide
got a
open now,
Sonya
boy.
who was like, you know what, I love you,
She
but
wild.
hey, there's a way that you can't just treat me this way, and I'm gonna call you out on.
Yes. Yeah.
I like that, and I also like the fact that Faux Terry didn't have Aaron in her face all the time.
Mm.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, you
Mhm.
my
Yes.
friend, you're not my lover, you're
Right.
my ex-lover, but even that, we got to have some boundaries now because I am there,
Yes. Yes.
and I'm not going to always have you up close and personal in a way that makes my wife feel insecure. So we got to
Yeah.
figure it out to do it different,
She could have
friends or
definitely handled
not.
that better. Definitely
She
could have handled
did.
that better.
She
Because who
did.
you
And
think
I
want to
was
see
proud.
someone that you dated, not only dated, but you slept with them
Right. For three
constantly,
years.
numerous for 3 years. You had a relationship
Shared
with this
apartment.
person, and then you want me to sit here and break bread and pretend like, oh, it's nothing. No, no, come on now, come on, come
Mm-mm.
on,
Ain't going to
come
happen.
on. No, ain't gonna
Mm-mm.
happen.
Right. So
Yeah,
I like
but
that. I
yep,
like seeing those boundaries.
yeah,
I like it, and even that goes to even once Terri got her memory back and we entered into the Dark Cloud series. I like the fact that Terri checked her. We're
yeah,
doing this because and Paul, you should have told somebody,
yeah,
and here we are. That doesn't mean I don't love you, but it does mean that you're the reason why we're all going through this and our lives are in
hmm,
danger.
Yeah.
yeah,
She checked her.
Yeah.
yeah,
I liked how she has started to put those boundaries in there
Yeah.
and
But
not be so Aaron focused, but
yeah.
she's
hmm,
more Sonya and her family focused.
Yeah.
right. Put them
By the
first.
time Dark Cloud happens, Terry is fully evolved.
Yeah,
And she's all for her family. That's
yeah,
the most important thing to her. And so, you know, if somebody endangers them, she don't care who it is. She don't care who it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's gonna handle it. So
Right.
yeah. But she had to heal and grow to become that person. So she finally did. She finally
Just
got
like everyone.
Yeah,
Just
just
like
like
Right.
everyone.
everyone.
Just
Yeah.
like everyone. But the thing is, Sonya made her path too easy to her. That's what me and Donna are saying. She made it too easy for Terry. It's just sort of like you date someone
That
and
yeah.
this person is a cheater. Oh well, they just sowing their oats and they're gonna do they can go. What do you think is actually gonna change? I have no reason to change if you're not gonna hold me accountable. And
Right.
that's what
Right.
Sonya never did. Terry was able to do whatever with whomever. It did not matter, and she
That
Mm-hmm.
did it. She took
that
a
that
full
was
advantage
that
of
was
the
Sonya's
situation.
that was Sonya's choice though. That was her sacrifice that she chose. She
Well,
took a
that's
risk.
she
She took
did
a
that
risk.
out of fear. In her mind, I'll give you that as long as I can stick around.
Mm.
And so
And
she
that
was
was where I did not
operating
like
out of
Sonya in the
fear and
beginning.
not
Right.
love.
And right, exactly. And I did not like Sonya's character because
Right.
to me that's weak. You want someone
Exactly.
that much that you're willing to let her sleep with male, female, it didn't matter. Come on now. That's no
Right.
love of self was not there with Sonya
Right.
initially.
Right.
You wanted Terry that much that you tore a part of yourself in
Right.
10 pieces to accommodate Terry. It was always the sacrifices that Sonya made for
Right.
Terry. You
Right.
know, always the sacrifice that Sonya made. Terry made zero sacrifices, zero, and that's
Right.
why she felt so comfortable in this 3-year relationship that she did with Aaron. If
Right.
you love Sonya, she's my one, and she's the one. She's my soulmate. But yet, this is what you do? No,
Right.
no, no, no,
And let's not
no.
forget Mike. I mean,
And
she
not
never
forget
slept
Mike.
with him,
Yeah,
but she was tipping,
she
going to
was
his
tipping.
mama's
Yeah.
house, and
We
Mhm.
you
we
know,
talking about the past.
right. Well, that's but
But the
all of that
past,
has led up to
Yeah, all
where
that
we
has
right?
are.
led up to where we are now.
And
Yeah.
so we're talking about her evolution
Yes.
Yeah,
and what we got to see in Stranger
Mhm.
as
right,
opposed to book one,
Mhm.
part
right.
one.
Yeah.
Because
Part one. Yeah.
that part of Sonya, that demonstration of Sonya, I wasn't feeling.
Mhm.
Nope.
You
Nope.
you can't
Not at
be
all.
beautiful and brilliant and sexy and
Mhm.
you pining over somebody so
She
much
didn't
that
feel it. She didn't feel she was beautiful and sexy. She
Well,
didn't
even if
didn't
she
feel it.
didn't, even if she didn't think that, and even if she wasn't that, you let Terry walk all over you, and Terry took advantage of the situation like so
right,
many people do.
right,
No one held Terry to account. Yes, you were broken, you were flawed. Everything that happened to you, yes, it happened. But
mm-hmm,
then you still have to be held accountable for your actions. Sonia didn't do any of these things, but
right,
she had to pay the bigger price. So that's when like you said, when you did like the first half of Stranger is, the first quarter, maybe a third
mm-hmm,
of it is the way Terry really is, and then when fake Terry when she went to see when Sonya and what's her name Dana went to see her,
mm-hmm,
that's when everything changed, and
right,
how, like you said, you see, because I always tell T, I said, you see how the fake Terry, she tries so hard to, make sure that Sonya is comfortable. Like you
yep,
said, she defends her, she takes up for her.
right,
Even the regular
right.
Terry,
She's
oh, well,
attentive,
Erin's my friend, she's my business partner. She always was like, look, Erin's gonna be here regardless. That's why she would push off toward
right,
Sonya. And Sonya had to deal with it because that was like a part of, if you deal with me, basically, you're gonna have to deal with this. But see,
right,
fake is nothing like that. She's
right,
very careful and very aware and very in tune to Sonya and
right,
Sonya's feelings. So much
exactly,
so. Yeah, and like you said, the real Terry, until she, like you say, evolved and whatever, she wasn't like this. She was a selfish ass person. She
yep,
wanted what she wanted and did not care who all she hurt, like
right,
most people who are broken do. They run
right,
over everybody and everything if you let them.
That whole
If you
cruise
let them.
thing on the
Yep.
honeymoon and all of that
Yes.
stuff.
But Ted, yeah, come on now. Come
Right,
on. You know this. And you know how Sonya felt about that. Even up until then, Terry was still being an ass. That's why I said I
right.
have
And then
proof.
she made it about her.
Yeah, made
You
it about
know,
her. Once
when
again,
the next day she made it about her. Oh, well, I'm like, goodness gracious, she
yeah,
knows she
that's
can
what I'm
turn the
saying.
table on this girl. She won't even give her the space to be
Yes.
hurt.
And I
And she would turn the table so that Sonya would continue to stroke her ego and
yes.
basically apologize for feeling the way she does. And
And you
I
know what else
hated
too,
that.
Donna? You know
What's
what
that?
else? Because remember in the beginning, Sonya also she was kind of a little hesitant because Terry was bisexual. But
Mm-hmm.
so when that Ted thing happened, that she had those flashbacks, like, oh, here we go. See,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the thing. And I, even though
Yep.
it wasn't written in the book, but she was probably thinking that. Oh,
Of
here we
course.
go. I know that Terry, she like men, she dates men, especially handsome men, and all that. Same thing with Zion. She's feeling that
Mm-hmm.
way, and that's what you
Same
all.
thing with Andre.
That's what I'm
Right.
saying with Andre and everybody else.
Andre,
That's what she
Mike.
had to do. Yep.
My
Because tell her,
Mm-hmm.
Donna, a lot of gay women would not have dealt with Trace with Terry because she was bisexual. They
That's right.
just don't do that.
Uh-uh.
They will not do it no matter what,
Nope.
soulmate, checkmate, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Right.
You're not gonna do it
Exactly.
because you
Right.
know what you're getting yourself into. I'm not saying all, but you basically know what you're
Mm-hmm.
getting yourself into because you don't know where. And that's what and
Mm-hmm.
Terry showed her true colors. She
Yeah.
showed her natural ass. There's just ain't no other way to put it.
She did. And I
She
know
showed it.
Tia likes to defend her, but
Yep.
this is why I applaud Stranger,
Yes.
because we
Yes.
got to see it different. We
Yeah.
got to
Yeah.
see Sonya. We got
Mm-hmm.
in her why why wasn't she equally as sexy and strong? You know,
Exactly.
we
Yeah.
got to
Yeah.
see that. We got to
Yeah.
see Faux Terry being jealous, you
Yes.
know, um, because if you love somebody, don't tell me that you ain't never jealous if you see somebody else with them. You
You gonna
might
feel
not
some
go
kind of
be
way.
right.
Yeah.
You may not be over the top and all that, but you gonna feel some kind of way. Well, I never saw Terry feel that kind of way, but one time, and
once
that's
or
Yeah.
when
twice.
at one time, and that's when she went to see Sonya after she woke up, and she said something about, we don't want to depend upon the kindness of our friends,
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
and made sure she had a some place to live other than with Sean.
Right.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's the only time you saw that, and that was just, kind of as an afterthought. And the person that I am, I'm trying to pull any kind of little bit of humanity and love from Terry, and it's like, come on, man.
It's
If
not. It
she's this
wasn't there.
beautiful and smart
Yeah.
and intelligent and gracious and loving, you mean to tell me you don't mind that this
Right.
woman, is out here unprotected, because you're supposed to protect her with your love, and she's
Right.
out here unprotected and you don't care? Come on.
Right. Yep. Yep.
No, no. So
Yep.
I love seeing Faux Terry,
Yes. I
wrestle with
love her
that.
now. She
I
is.
love
She
that.
is so amazing because, like T said, she doesn't. She's like a little kid. She's brand new, so
Right,
it's all new to her. But at the same time, you see how protect that natural instinct, like you said,
right.
Donna, that that
Yep,
soulmate is there, even though she's not even aware of it, maybe
right,
and all of that. But look how protective of son. She
right,
makes sure everything is
right.
okay.
Yep.
Every
I'm
single
gonna
thing
hold
she
your
makes
hand.
sure.
I'm gonna
Yep,
make sure you have what you need in the apartment. I'm
yep,
gonna make sure that I carve out a little time for you, no matter how busy I am. I'm gonna
yeah,
make sure that I am on my P's and Q's. That's what love does.
Was
That's
after
what
gonna
love
kick
does.
Zion's ass. Remember? I'm gonna say something. You know, she got that
Yep.
sister in it. In no,
Right.
I'm gonna say something to him. Forget that. I'm
Well,
I'm gonna
I
confront.
am anxious to try to find. I'm anxious to discover how in the hell she got pregnant by this guy.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that. That's gonna be that's gonna be the point. I just cannot wait to see how she's gonna do this because it's gonna take everything away, but we know it's something has to happen.
Something
But you
has to
know something
happen.
else, Donna? I asked you the other day. I said, now I've been thinking. I know that when they once they get married, everything is back on track, babies and all this stuff coming along. No one in Zion's family is looking. I mean, I know I just something about something's like something is not. It's a loose end right there for some reason.
Possibly.
Okay,
But
it has to be.
the brother is dead. You know, Gabriel is dead, and the mother, if she ever gets off drugs and from under the rock,
Yeah.
she may.
That's what I'm saying.
The
Some
mother.
long lost father, sister,
No,
because
they
it's
don't
like
I
know
want
who their
that
father.
episode to be over for
They,
real,
they
for
didn't
real.
know who their father
yeah,
was. So
Yeah, and I want that chapter to
look at
close.
it's not
For
they
real.
can't close it.
it's closed.
Yeah, I don't want the. I don't want that to open up.
Because the mother couldn't handle the death of both of her children, so she was already a drug addict, so she never
Yeah.
recovered.
Yeah. So I want that to stay closed.
That's closed.
But I want this pregnancy to occur with some type of trauma. Um, because I can't wrap my head around a willing Terri at this point.
Oh.
I can't.
Oh,
Yes.
I thought you meant Sonya's because we done jumped.
Well,
Now.
because
I think that that Terri, like Sonya's T just said, I think she's gonna get around Zion and she's gonna let her guard down.
Yep.
And he's smooth. He's a sweet talker.
He's smooth, and something's gonna happen. And I'm
And
not
they're gonna.
saying
I think that they're gonna.
it's gonna be a situation, and a situation Terri shouldn't have put herself in. So
and that's the way I see it going.
yeah,
She's gonna put herself in a situation, and we are human.
Yeah, and we're
I
human.
tell people
we're human, and
yeah.
she is attracted to him, and she's
Yep.
never been with a man, and she's curious. So, and maybe
But
her.
it's still.
I mean, there's situations that's gonna happen. That's gonna occur where
Yeah.
she
Well, we know it has to because the kids.
fucks
But
up.
then, but the problem is, like me and Donna was saying. Okay, we know it's going to happen, but you're not. And see, this to me would make it even harder for Terri to just walk back into her and Sonya's life, because even though you did not, you knew. See, all this stuff that you showed me. So now the real Terri and now the fake Terri has betrayed me. So no, that's a bridge too far. So it's gonna have to be no.
And she was
You're not
getting
moving
her
back up in
memory
here.
back.
Yes,
So it wasn't
exactly.
like
She was getting flashes.
She was getting flashes, so she knew.
She didn't understand the flashes. I mean, right now she doesn't understand what the flashes are. And when she gets her memory, when Terri flashes in, she doesn't remember because she has a headache. So when she gets the flashes of the boy, she's not around any of her family. Those just come. So there's situations that happen.
And the guy is he the old boyfriend from college that she sees in those flashes?
It's James.
Yeah,
James.
that's what I'm saying. Is that James?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah. So it's gonna, like I said, she's gonna have to.
What happened with
you're
James.
not moving back in.
Yeah, we know what
you're
happened.
not moving back in. You're not gonna be moving. You're not gonna be holding hands. I don't want to see your ass because what you done put me through all this time.
Yeah.
And that's why I said, because what is, and again, then we're gonna run back to it.
We wiping the slate clean on part 2. So let's don't even.
Okay.
I
want Sonya to make her work. I don't want her to just roll right back in there.
Whatever you read about part 2, because everything's changing. You saw everything change in Stranger. So
but you know what though?
I think the natural progression of what's going to happen. So everything's changing. I'll just say that in
But
part
I
two.
think that the readers now, because even though the rewrite hasn't been done, I think it benefits them to read that, because now you see a totally
Don't read it.
different scenario. You don't want them to.
No,
No, it's going to be
no.
different and kind of confusing.
Yeah, it's gonna
Well,
be
I don't know.
confusing. I mean,
For
you can
us,
My
go
we
read.
friend
get to
You
just read
talk
can
it.
go
about it
read
because
it.
we've
You can
seen it.
go read it later. I
My
mean,
friend read it. My
once
friend
I
read it.
rewrite the book, I'm gonna upload it on the Amazon, so they won't even have the old version.
You know, my
Mm-hmm.
friend read it. Lynn read it, Tia, and
Oh,
she
did
was
you?
like, "Oh yeah," and her thing was, is that exactly what Donna said? She was
Mhm.
like, "Hold up, now wait a minute." She
Mm-hmm.
said, "You mean to tell me you wake your ass up, you
Right.
don't come see me,
Right.
you go somewhere else, and then you come in, and then all this knowing that all this time, I know that you weren't aware of what you did, but they have told you you were
Mm-hmm.
with Zion. That was your boyfriend. You've had
Right.
sex, and you knew it, because look at all the tests that you had ran. And you mean to tell me you could not go see your wife because you couldn't stand to see her looking like that? Really? Oh, she
Right.
was hot on that one. And so, because that was, and she was like, I just don't understand. She said,
Right.
there's no way. There's no
Right.
way. You would have been crawling on your knees to get there. It wouldn't have
Exactly.
mattered. But you didn't. Again, you chose Aaron on top of that, again, over
Right.
Sonya. So that's what
Right.
she was reading it and everything. And she was like, oh my God. And she was
Right.
like, Terri is such, she said, oh my God. But see, now, just like everybody else, you see the fake Terri up until this point, you see she's so different.
Right.
Then she says the same thing. Sonya is her
Yep.
favorite. She said Terri is so selfish that it's
Mm-hmm.
unbelievable. And just the way she did, she said, no, she said one thing about it, you'd have been, hey, by the time you saw me, you wouldn't recognize me, because you wouldn't walk back up in there and pretend like nothing happened. It wasn't
Right.
going to go down like that. I don't care, therapy or not, it wasn't going to go down that. And Sonya
Right.
made it easy, because you
Too
notice
easy.
when and every time after that, when Terri got hurt, what did she do? She pushed Sonya away.
Yep.
She pushed her away, and because that's all she has been doing, and Sonya, you allowed her to do it, so it became normal. Because what was she? Was it when she got shot or attacked or something like that, and she couldn't walk, and how she was angry and everything?
Oh,
You weren't
the
you
car
allowed
accident.
car accident, yeah.
Car accident.
And so everybody else except Sonya, you pushed the one who loved you and held you down the most out of everybody. Sonya has been
Right.
consistent from the day you met her,
Right.
out of everybody else outside of Joyce.
Yep.
But you never went to Sonya. You
Right.
never went to her first. And see,
Right.
that's why I say that's why I did not like Terri, because she was just selfish and you were a user. And I did not like that. Now this fake she's softened her up. No matter
Yeah.
what happened, what goes down, she's a
Mm-hmm.
totally different person now,
Right.
regardless of the reason. And that's the person that Sonya had deserved all along, because of what she was.
Yep. Yep. You muted yourself, Angie. But that's exactly right. Now, I'm really anxious to experience part two all over again, because I know that between um, Terry waking up
Oh,
and the car accident,
We can hear you.
there has to be some reconciliation there,
Hmm.
because she stepped up, she was in the hospital with her, and she took on the babies and all of that stuff, so I get all that. But
Hmm.
I want to see the changes between the waking up and the accident.
hmm,
There has to be
yeah,
more. Okay, there
yeah,
has to be this journey of
Hmm.
forgiveness
yeah,
and reconciliation. The love
yeah,
is there, of course the love is there, but you
yeah,
got to woo me. You got to show me that this is worth saving, that this is worth preserving, because for the last 10 or
right,
15 years I've done nothing but love you, and
right.
all I've received in return was a love from a you that wasn't even you.
Yeah.
I mean, come on now.
Exactly. The best love, exactly. The best love that you received was from
Right.
someone that was, man, that what say that again. That was
Right.
profound. Because that is
Exactly.
that
Right.
explains it. That sums it up right there, T. That sums
Yep.
it up.
And
I
even
mean,
though I miss my wife,
I do.
you
I do
know,
understand that she got to experience Terri with a clean slate. She didn't have any questions about her sexuality. She didn't have any feelings of being, abandoned. She didn't have any feelings of being raped. She didn't have any of these things to juggle. She had a clean slate to be able to live life. I mean, CJ and Ann rolled the red carpet out for her. She didn't have to worry about anything. She didn't have to worry
But you know
about,
what?
having money or, paying for college or eating. She didn't have to worry about the basics
The normal things all of us go through, right?
anything.
but
It's the normal
even if
things that
that
happen.
even without the trauma, we're not
Right.
talking that you're going to be perfect because
Exactly.
we all
No,
have
no.
traumatic experiences. But I'm
Yes.
saying in the way she treated Sonya, you
Right?
wasn't so
Yeah.
traumatized that you spent 3 years with another woman.
Thank you.
You wasn't so
That you were saying
traumatized
your
that you hugging up
question.
on men.
Yes. Yes.
You know,
She was also, I mean, it wasn't like she was just sleeping around with Aaron. They were working, they were building something together. I mean, she was young. She was in her early 20s. She just
no,
graduated college.
but you love somebody else,
Right.
and
So it
you,
doesn't
but
matter.
She
you know,
not
so
not
you were
every
getting
young
your cake
person
and your
has a
ice
mature
cream too.
relationship when they're in their 20s. They just
Yeah,
No,
but you know
don't.
boo.
what?
When they're building
No,
their career,
no,
they just don't. They just don't.
no. No, that's not true. That's not
They
true.
just don't. It is
I
true.
have a younger sister
No,
who will
ma'am.
be
Right, but
married
that's
30
her.
years.
That's
30
her. That's
years coming,
her.
and she's young,
That's
and
her.
all of everything. But
That
see,
is
Terry was
her.
selfish.
We all have our different
Terry
experience.
was selfish. Terry
Right,
was
Okay,
selfish,
she
and
was selfish because she
because
had to
Sonia
be
allowed her.
because
No,
she
no,
had to
she
right.
be
didn't.
self-sufficient. She had to self-preserve herself.
No,
So she
but
never.
you missed.
Yes, she
But
did.
you
Yes, she
but
did.
you're missing
This
the
is.
point, T.
I'm not missing
But
the
here's the
point.
thing.
I'm
Here's the
telling
thing.
you. I'm
Remember the
telling you the
conversation we had.
reason why Terry is why she is. She had to
Remember the
be
conversation.
self-sufficient. She had to self-preserve herself. She shut
Remember the
down. She
conversation
was
you
damaged.
and I had yesterday. Remember the conversation we had the other day. And I told you, it does not matter
It matters.
what you have been through and what
It
you have
matters.
done.
It matters.
The way you treat other people, that falls on you.
It still
And there
matters.
is no
I mean, yes,
it's
yes.
no excuse. It's
I'm not
no
I'm not saying
excuse.
I'm not saying Terry's excuse. What I'm
Age,
saying, she is the way she
trauma,
is because the what she
being
did.
poor, is no excuse. There's no excuse. It's none. The way she treated Sonya, I don't care what she went through. There is no excuse to justify the
I'm
way,
not
because
saying that
if you
I'm
had
not
all of those things going
saying
on,
I'm
then
not
you stay single.
I'm
You
not
stay out of a
saying I
relationship.
am not saying there's
You
an
know?
excuse. I'm showing you the comparison between Faux Terry and Terry. I'm showing you the comparison. I'm saying Faux Terry didn't have to worry about anything.
But
Anything.
it's not so much as that. It's not so
It
much
is
because
that.
you
It
have
is
people
that.
out there that have been through trauma and they don't act the way Terry did. So Terry used that as a crutch all to justify a lot of the things that she did or didn't do. And you can't do that because if you are broke, and we all can relate, then you stay single. You leave people alone.
Not
You don't bring
everybody.
anybody in. You
Not
should.
everybody's. I mean, you
You
should.
should.
You should, but we're not. We're not. We all don't have the same moral compass. We
And
just
that's
don't.
there
Well,
you go.
what I
And
want to
Terry had
see,
no moral compass.
I've already said that what I want to see
Yeah.
when Terry wakes up, I want to see a Terry that's contrite.
Mm,
Yes.
That's all
Yes.
I'm looking for.
mm,
That's
Because
it.
any other
That's it.
time, Terry was never contrite.
mm,
Never.
I
Never.
want to see a contrite Terry.
mm.
Yes.
I want to see a Terry who remembers faux Terry and how faux Terry treated Sonya. I want to see a Terry who understands, oh, faux Terry was hot. Not only was she an amazing singer with the gritty voice, and she was, definitely
Valid.
very sexy but she was loving and she was kind towards Sonya. I want to see her being contrite. I want to see her pursuing this woman with her whole heart. I want
Yes.
her to ask for forgiveness instead of turning it around and making it seem like I'm the victim. No, you ain't the
Yes.
victim. You've been the
That's right.
victimizer. And so
Mm-hmm.
I want to see that before
Yes.
this accident occurs. Because I'm sure once the accident occurs, of course, Sonia's going to be there and we're going to, get her recovery and all of that and going out with Ed and that. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm okay with all the rest. But I
Yes.
do want to see a contrite Terri pursuing Sonya with her whole heart, not some
Mm-hmm.
half-hearted, I just got to see about my business. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to see that. I don't want to see Aaron,
No half
all up
stepping.
and through. Get your ass somewhere and
Right.
sit down. This ain't about you,
Right.
Aaron. This is about
Right.
Terri and Sonya, and
Yes.
they got to
Yes.
work some shit out because now Terri is pregnant by
Yes.
somebody else.
Yes.
And it wasn't the somebody else that they were hoping to get from a sperm donor.
By
Okay?
somebody the way, especially the way Zion treated Sonya.
Right.
Especially, so
Right.
that makes it even worse.
Right.
That
Yep.
makes it
He was
even worse.
disrespectful as
How
hell.
he totally disrespectful, totally disrespectful.
Right.
So that's adding, fuel to the flame. So you're right. She has to come in, and Sonya should throw up in her face. Well, you know what? You need to
Mm-hmm.
take a page out of Fake Terry book, because she knew how to treat me and show me the respect and love that I've always shown your sorry ass. She don't, and I think the new Sonya, because keep in mind, while
Mm-hmm.
the
She
Fake
gonna
Terry,
keep it real.
Sonya
She gonna
has
keep it
been
real.
rewritten also, because she
Mm-hmm.
wasn't as strong and as she was before. She was weak
Right.
as water, but now she's a whole, like, totally different person. Like
Yep.
Tia said,
She
she's
feeling herself,
embracing
as
her
they would say.
sexuality. Yeah, she's feeling
And
herself.
that's what good love does. It makes you feel yourself because she's
She's feeling
plugging in
herself.
all those holes.
Mhm.
The need for love and commitment and desirability and sexiness and all that flirting and all the things
Yeah,
you do. So she's
yeah.
feeling herself
She
in
is.
the way she dressed, in the way she
Yeah,
behaves,
Mhm.
the
yeah,
dance
Dance.
classes. And
yeah.
you
Yeah,
think I'm gonna accept this laying down? Nah,
yeah.
you got me effed up, baby.
Hey, Donna, look,
You got to be crawling. You
at
got
first
to
she was at
become
home
right.
crying all
We'll,
the
we'll
time and
see.
falling
We'll
all
see.
out and crying every time
We'll,
you turn
we'll,
around.
we'll
Oh, I
see
don't
what happens.
understand. No.
Stay tuned.
I'm with you, Angie.
Stay, stay
Yeah.
tuned. We'll see.
Um, can we switch gears just a little bit?
Please.
The Christmas Story, loved it. Everybody's pregnant. I'm happy. Sonia's
Not
pregnant.
everybody.
Well, yeah. Well, Aaron's not pregnant, but I
Or
like.
Michelle.
Huh?
Or Michelle.
Oh yeah, yeah. But I love the fact that Sonia's pregnant. Because in book one, part one, they talked about, or which one, I can't remember which part it is, that she would have their last child. And
Right.
so they're having their last child and she's having it. So I was really excited about that. I love the community of friends, seeing the community of friends come together. Um, that was a lot of fun. It was also fun to see the twins grow up and their personalities emerge, and the things that they wanted to see, wanted to do with their lives. Even baby Zoe, I
Mhm.
love the fact that one of the kids would be a musical protege because both their parents and grandparents were, and
Yeah.
so we see a continuation of that legacy.
Yeah.
And it appears that between the other two kids we're going to see the brilliance from the medical side of things with one of the kids, and
Yeah.
we're going to see the entrepreneurship with the other one. And
Yeah.
so now we have this love is real legacy.
Yes.
Okay, and we'll be able to at some point maybe even explore that as the kids get older. We have a whole new series that is a possibility at some point. So I totally enjoyed that. Seeing Kai and Ayana come back together, the proposal, the wedding, and well, the proposal happened before in their book,
Yeah. And
but
they're
now we see them coming back in the wedding. Her parents moving here, her twin sisters, and just um, the community, all the different pieces of the community falling together. even Dan has found somebody. It's just,
Yeah.
it's been
Dan and
amazing
Michelle.
to
That's
see
crazy.
that.
Huh?
That's right.
Yeah.
And Ed and Maya now part of the community, even though they live on the East Coast.
Yeah. Yeah.
They still are connected,
They're
and
still
we saw
connected.
that in the Valentines, which
Yeah.
went way too quick. Matter of fact, madam, they went to North Carolina. They had the quick concert. Boom, it's over. I'm like, good God. I want to see the cruise. I want to see them dancing, having fun.
It can't go on forever.
I know, but that's the fun part. No drama. We just got or trauma. We just got the love and the family and community. You
Mm.
know. So anywho, that's what I loved about Christmas
And Valentine's.
and Valentine's, and I'm still waiting on Granny. Okay, I
Who?
want Granny to find some love. Sonia's grandmother. I want Granny to have love in her life.
She does have love in her life.
I ain't talking about her kids and grandkids. I'm talking about somebody that she can, keep her warm at night.
We'll see.
So what about you, Angie? Did you enjoy Christmas?
It was okay.
Yeah, just okay.
It was just okay. You know, it was okay.
Angie don't
I
like her happy.
Oh, you
No,
wanted
I
more
no, I don't have a
drama.
problem with
I'm
that.
just playing. I'm just
No.
playing.
I just thought that everybody's pregnant. This one got babies. Babies just you need to. I just know. I read it because I'm gonna read it, but it was okay. I will
Okay.
not discourage anyone from reading it. I mean, if you like the books you follow, and it gives you a follow up on the characters so that you'll know years have passed, who's all had babies and got
Yeah.
married and hooked up, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it gives you an opportunity to see how the grandparents are faring. Like you said, the
Right.
kids are growing up. This one is doing this, doing that, and everything. So you see all the characters on this. So it's like a big reunion
Yeah.
kind of show. But
Yep.
it was okay. It was kind of it was okay.
Yeah. It didn't have any trauma, which I
Well,
was
no, it didn't
glad.
have any. It just didn't have.
But it's supposed to.
Right. I mean,
I
it's a
love the
Christmas
fact
book.
that it was
It's New
just
Year's.
about
It wasn't
Christmas.
trauma. Exactly. So if you read it for just that,
It
just
was
the
just
Christmas
about
story,
Christmas.
and that's
Right.
it, then it's a read that you read and everything. And I don't want to see drama all the time because I said not to bring up the other books before. You do want to see them be able to accomplish things without all of the drama.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You want to see them just get in there and not running from somebody trying to shoot you,
Mm-hmm.
somebody trying to kidnap you, or you out here dealing with this one or this one doing. No, you want to see them just actually say, hey, let's see this love story and develop. Of course,
Yeah.
you're gonna have life traumas, but not to the point of somebody put a hit on you or nothing. So of
Right.
course you want
Right.
to see some
Exactly.
HEA, but not necessarily you want a little drama, but just very little, minimal. It's the normal things that everyday people go through, not to the extreme. So, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
was, and the Valentine thing, it was good to see that again, all the characters come together. I told
Mm-hmm.
T, I said, why would you have children on a Valentine's Day cruise? She said, well, because the
It wasn't
grandparents
a
came,
Valentine's Day cruise. It was a family reunion cruise.
and you didn't say
That
that. You
happened
said
around
Valentine.
Valentine's
That
Day.
Well,
happened
you said,
around
so
Valentine's.
would you like to go on a cruise for Valentine's Day? Valentine's Day is coming up. So that's the way I looked at it. I'm like, they let them go apart
No,
at
she
home. So
specifically said family reunion.
Yeah, and I liked it because the, they have enough money that they could have brought a nanny to babysit, and the couples could do their thing. We're
Yeah,
talking about the super rich,
yeah.
and so the
and they could
kid
have
thing
left them
didn't
on the
bother me as
island,
much.
and they could have left them on the island, and so everybody can enjoy themselves. I don't like her. You know what? Terry kids are spoiled. And something about them is just they rub me wrong for some reason. I don't
Spoiled.
know what it is. They're
They're
spoiled.
they're they're
And
they're
they
they're
just
they're loved and secure in who they are,
their eyes and something
and they
about them.
got
I want
50
to whoop
million
their ass.
grandparents, so they're
I
spoiled
want to whoop
rotten.
their
They're spoiled
asses.
and
I'm telling
entitled,
you.
but they
Yeah,
seem to be very loving kids, and
they are
and
very loving kids.
yeah.
I will
I'm
whoop their
okay
ass.
with
It's
that.
like
I
God
like
can
the
tell you.
dynamic between the twins and how Haley, really wanted to spend time with her mom, and how they,
Kelly got some mental
that
issues, so they
evolution of
cook.
that relationship, which is real.
Of
She
So
course
got some
she
mental
has.
issues.
Of course she has. Her family was threatened. Her mom got into an accident, almost died. So yeah, they definitely have mental issues.
yeah, trauma
Yeah, they have
issues.
trauma. Trauma is the correct word.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of PTSD.
Yeah,
And so they need a little bit more assurance about
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I liked reading how Sonya and Terri came together to make decisions about their children.
Hmm.
And you didn't see any um, dissension in that relationship. But
No.
I
Yeah.
did see cracks in Ted and Aaron's
Oh
relationship.
yeah.
Aaron a hoe, so ain't no telling what he's doing.
Uh-oh.
So I don't like that
Uh-oh.
character. He is.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I
Yeah.
don't think Aaron's
Uh-oh.
a hoe. So
Mm.
she's just Aaron, but
A hoe.
she's
A hoe.
definitely not a hoe.
Yeah, she definitely is.
How so?
She might be
How
retired a little bit, but
how
that's
is
what she
Aaron a hoe?
is.
Who
Parent,
who did she sleep with other than Paul and Terry and Ted?
anybody and everything.
No, she did not.
Yeah.
No, she
Oh,
did
it,
not.
it
Well, see,
spoke Terry, she slept with was it
Jazz.
Jasmine?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank
She was
you.
she was single though.
It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Okay, so you can only be a hoe if you're married or in a relationship. No.
I mean, why would you be a hoe if you're single and you sleep with somebody?
But
I think
that's not being. Doesn't matter. That's not the definition of what a hoe is. Because in a relationship,
I don't think she's a hoe.
I think
sleeping
Aaron
around.
is a little bit
Promiscuous.
Foolish.
reckless. I'll just say reckless. I
Yeah,
think she's
I would say
sexually
reckless.
free, but
Yeah,
she's reckless.
yeah.
And reckless to the point where she understood where she stood with Terry, and
Hmm.
she still did that,
Yeah,
and she didn't care how it affected Sonya.
yeah,
And then you go come around and you all up in her face like you her best friend. You're
yeah.
not her best friend. You are
Nope.
her nemesis.
Yes.
Okay. And so that's reckless because
Mhm.
you're saying, I don't care how you feel. I'm here.
Yep.
She wants me here.
Yeah,
And it don't matter to me how you feel. Well,
yeah,
guess what? In my circle, if I had anybody to treat my wife like that, they
yeah.
would be out.
You
Yeah.
see, Aaron's not around their circle that often.
Yeah, I
You
saw
know
that.
that,
And I
right?
also see why, Ted is a little, maybe a little put off because a little of that selfishness that has manifested as
Yeah,
recklessness
yeah.
is also part of
So,
her
so
marriage.
she had a
Yeah.
lot of growing up and maturing to do
Yeah,
because
because she opened the door to the guy in
yeah,
Dark
she
Cloud.
did. She did.
That's
So
Yeah.
reckless.
Aaron is a
She
very
sure did.
Aaron is a
Person.
very troubled person. So
Absolutely. And
she
Terry put her
We
on,
need to
gave
do
her a
her
wonderful
background then.
platform.
We need to
Hmm?
see what see Aaron's background, where she came from, because she is just I like I said, she
I
her
I
character.
I did allude to it that Aaron came from a dark background. So did Kai. But Kai doesn't
What
act
was
like Aaron.
No.
what I don't what book was that in about Aaron? I don't remember.
We knew that Kai came from very humble beginnings.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Aaron got shuffled around different foster homes and she was sexually molested and other things happened to Aaron.
I don't remember
I don't
reading
remember
any of that.
that either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll find it and send it to you guys. But yeah.
Yeah, we need to see that,
Yeah. That's
We-
that's why she allowed Paul to treat her so bad.
Excuse me for a second, guys. I keep going off camera because, I
Often.
have been a little bit under the weather. I need to blow my nose, so I'm right
Okay.
here.
No worries. Yeah, so I'll pull out the details and send it to you
Yeah,
guys.
because I don't remember that. But you know what
Yeah.
though? A lot of the reason too why she was with Paul is because Terry was going.
Heartbreak.
Yep,
Yeah.
and she did not care, and she was like Donna reckless. So she put herself in a situation even then
Yep.
when she married Paul, realizing that whatever. But then when Paul came back, and you did not tell anybody, You
Yeah.
know, you didn't
Right.
tell your husband,
Right.
and you could
Reckless.
have lost their lives
So
because
after Dark Cloud, her and Terry's relationship was fractured.
It shifted. It
yeah,
Yeah,
shifted.
it
You
yeah,
could
definitely
see the shift.
shifted, and you could see it.
But it's a classic example how some women can use their sexual prowess
Hmm.
yeah,
or prowess to try to get what they want. And
Hmm.
yeah.
she did that with Terry, thinking
She
that was
did.
going to be enough for her.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
what she didn't realize that Terry was an ass for doing that
Hmm.
and walking away. But
Hmm.
she also should have recognized that how many times does this woman have to tell me she loves somebody else
Hmm.
Yeah.
before, I back the hell up,
Yeah.
and have some sense of morality
Yeah.
here,
Yep. Nobody, no
or
morality.
ethics.
Those two, they
Yeah.
deserved each other. Her and Terry deserved each other.
Yeah.
Terry
During
never
Colorado,
deserved Sonya.
absolutely.
She never deserved Sonya. She never
Absolutely. They were
deserved
two
Sonya.
broken, they were two broken souls just living life, definitely. But, Aaron never turned that corner. And she tried, she tried, but
Yeah, well, she hooked up with Ted. She was in a great
Yeah.
situation. Even that was suspect because
yeah,
he was
Yeah.
in love with Terry.
He
So
had
then
exactly.
you
just
hook
came
up with
back.
him too.
Yeah, he had just came back from this cruise, and all of a sudden, and see Terry. But also too, what I say this, and I tell anyone, especially that I date, listen, I am not going to be friends with anyone that you have slept with. I'm
Mm,
not breaking bread with them. I'm not going to sit around no dinner table with them. That's
mm-hmm,
Right.
not going to happen.
mm-hmm,
Period.
mm-hmm.
And so to me, for Sonya has to relive this every time she saw, and initially she
Mhm.
saw Aaron, she had to relive this because those
Mm-hmm.
3 years, why you telling me you didn't know about your sexuality, but every damn turn you turn around, you fuck. So no, I could not do it. So that was
Right.
like, and initially Terry kind of implied, well, hey, this is my partner and she's my friend. So basically, we a package deal. That's the way she basically implied. And Sonya
Sure.
should have stood back and said, well, you know what? You and Sonya, Aaron both can kick rocks, but she did.
Right.
But now, like you said, now that the fake Terry is standing up more and not doing that. And she's wondering, how in the world is she let Aaron come? She's
Right.
saying those things. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Yep. So
Yep.
it's been an
Saying those things.
interesting dynamic.
It has been.
And
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
wait to see the progression
Yes.
of her her personality and in her relationship with Sonya moving forward. I want to see how she's going to respond to Joyce. I mean, she
Yeah.
was very
Exactly.
flippant
Yeah.
about it
Yeah.
before. I don't understand how faux Terry didn't love you. Well, that wouldn't be enough. I mean, there
Yeah.
should have been some grieving
Some
over the
damn
fact that
consequences,
I
the
hurt you.
repercussions.
I
Look,
hurt Daddy Freddie. I
you did
hurt
not shed
Sonya.
a tear.
Right.
Maybe I have missed it, but I've never seen any part of the book where Terry shed one tear over Sonya. I haven't.
Right.
Point it out to me because I don't remember it.
And
And
that's
she's never
and that's
said,
to be emotionally healthy
Mm-hmm.
when you
yeah,
start to care about
Yeah.
others as well. You love these people, you care about
Yeah.
how they feel.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
so that
Yeah.
shows emotional maturity
Exactly.
and
yeah,
emotional health.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And so I can't wait to see how all of those things converge in part 2.
Yes.
Okay?
yeah. Me,
Um
me either. Me either.
and yeah, and then it'll be amazing. And I told Tia, I said, look, Faux Terry needs to be a book because the Vella platform, the only Vella I read is Tia's
Well,
because I'm
thank
a book
you.
reader.
I appreciate the support.
Okay, and there's enough episodes in Strangers where we can have a real book for
uh,
real.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah,
it's
well, you
still
know what the thing is that, and I tell Tia this all the time. I said, and I've interviewed different writers and stuff, and you read and everything,
mhm.
and I know she said, "What is this fiction?" I said, "Yeah, but the first thing we do, and then we were always taught as readers, put yourself in that character. So you can imagine. So that's why people get emotional when they read the books, because
Right.
even though you know it's fiction, we can relate to these characters. And you
Right.
find yourself, because I'm like, man, if you do one more thing to Sonya, Terry, I'm coming, So it's like
Right.
and then you're mad at Sonya. I can just shake the devil out of you. Why you keep letting this woman, all these women out here, you gonna keep letting her treat you? So you get caught up in it with these people. I have a friend of my friend, who's a heterosexual woman. She's reading the story, and she says the same thing. And she loves Sonya because she just feels that Terry just treated Sonya so bad. And that's what everybody who has read the stories that I have talked to, they say the same thing, that everybody can't be wrong. Everybody says the same thing. Like, damn, because Sonya is so, oh, okay. And I'm like, Sonya, really? Man, kick the fan out here tearing the eyes for days. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
No, it's good. Like you said, the fake Terry is like everybody. That's when I started reading. I'm like, oh yeah. I tell Tia all the
I
time.
told you though. Didn't I tell
Tia
y'all
girl.
was in love for Terry? I told y'all. You was like,
Yeah. She started out kind of rocky, but once she saw Sonya pull up in that hot car with another woman,
yes,
everything shifted.
Smelling good, looking good. Boy, she like to have a stroke and listen.
Yeah.
Now
she
didn't know anything about this.
With me.
She didn't know anything about anything like this. Now Tia, but she was like a moth to a flame, boy. She couldn't take her eyes off. She was like, okay, well, this is what this. We doing this right here.
Yep.
This right here. Oh yeah, boy. She came out and Terry, I keep telling her, Terry knows so open right now. She Sonya came in and did some tricks and slide down.
Oh yeah, Sonya did her thing.
Never,
she did.
never. Man, that's what I said. She has evolved so much.
Yep.
Also, I mean, she coming down
fire.
cold and twisting. Yeah, toys and all kinds of stuff that the old Sonya was just nowhere close to this. She was all fuddy-duddy and crying.
At least we didn't see it. We didn't see it.
Yeah, you just didn't see it. Yeah.
And we needed the book to go from PG or maybe PG-13. We need an R.
Turn it up
and in some cases, we need an MA.
Yeah, that's it. Need an MA rating.
Yeah.
In reality, Yeah, because you had Sonya looking real. All Sonya did was cry. Like,
nerdy. She is a nerd. She is.
Yeah, but you ain't gotta cry like that. Come on now. And then look, and all the women that she had wanted her all the time.
Yes,
every time you can think of. But she just she wanted that little trifling ass Terry for whatever reason. So
yep. All the ladies in the hospital.
Everywhere she went, somebody was
after her. Like a rock star at Trinity.
Tall, dark, and handsome. I mean, tall, dark, and beautiful.
Especially after she solved that medical mystery, she became a rock star at Trinity.
Of course she did. Yeah.
And so I knew, her, and her personality stood out. It stands out. She glows with everything about her. And like I said, Terry was never deserving of her until she way down into the books and stories and everything. She was never deserving of her.
You said wait after she met with Dr. Brooks. What y'all think about Dr. Brooks being brought into the community?
I like it because Dr. Brooks, you gotta have, they got everybody head. Only thing that needs is a butcher, a chiropractor, a butcher, a chiropractor. They got everything else, and they don't even come out the gates.
We got a psychiatrist, we got a psychologist, we have surgeons.
We got
lawyers,
entertainers,
lawyers, event players, restaurateurs, and everything else.
Right.
Interior designers,
musicians.
Yep.
Yes.
We just need some Indian chiefs and police chiefs. They got everything else. I'm telling you, they got the whole thing.
We got the security on lock too.
And the security. So yep.
And Maya.
They have their own community. But I would like. I was telling T. I would like to see some more characters. I know you have so many, but I would like to see some additional characters now.
I did introduce some in Valentine's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
We just
yeah.
didn't spend enough time
We didn't know who these people
getting
are. We just
there.
saw some
More,
names.
more,
Yeah.
more to come. You know how I do it.
Yep.
Hey, Donna,
Yep.
go ahead and throw a play on up in there. Throw one of the players, the entertainers up in there, so they come in there and shake
What?
up all these
The
women and
twins
everything.
gotta have a story.
Yeah, the twins gonna
Ayana's
have a
sisters.
story.
They
Yeah,
gotta have a story.
you know I
You
put
know.
cookie crumbs to
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
comes in the future. So
And so
yeah.
it's an opportunity to do whatever
To
we want with
grow.
this
Yeah,
series.
to grow.
yeah.
Yeah,
And we can, but as long as it gets flushed out, because it
yeah.
has to make sense. And
Exactly. Yeah,
seeing
yeah.
the evolution of Terri makes sense,
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. And
and makes
Sonya,
it more
and
relatable.
Sonya, and Sonya,
And
and
Sonya, of
Sonya,
course.
because
Yep.
she's totally different. She is so different.
Oh,
Yep.
Oh, she's so
Sonia and
different.
the
Yeah,
Sonia and Terry and the Valentines are totally different than who they were a couple of years
Yeah,
yeah,
ago.
you can
yeah.
see that they're very mature, they're
And the
parents.
Christmas and everything. So that's one of the things
Yep.
I did like about it because I mean I follow all the characters, but of course we know we're looking at the two main characters, Sonya, and you
Sure.
know that we're looking at those two main characters,
Hmm.
and to see that, and it's good to see. And I when I was reading the Christmas and the Valentine, I saw the growth from fake Terry. I
Hmm.
don't think about Terry anymore. I thought I saw the growth from fake because that's where I felt that the growth came in is from
Hmm.
through her. And so
Yeah.
that's what you see. And, she makes sure that she said, hey, I want to take care of you the way you did for me.
Hmm.
It's like I said,
Hmm.
I can't recall a time where Terry was crying over Sonya or something. I don't recall. And it may have, I just don't remember.
No,
And because
no.
Sonya did all the crying, so you've hurt her enough where she's deserved more respect from you. And that's what it boils down to. She had no respect for Sonya.
Right.
And so no matter what, and when you are a broken person, you
Mhm.
don't because you're gonna be selfish. You don't care enough for anyone. It's all about you and your self gratification.
Right.
And that's just the way it goes. And Sonya was the kind of person growing up, she grew up in that two-family home with a loving, caring, then with her grandmother around. She came from a totally different background
Yeah.
then, because if Aaron and Terry had got together, they probably would have been divorced by now. Because
Oh
Aaron,
yeah.
the kind of person because she
Yeah.
would have went toe
It
to
wouldn't have
toe with
worked.
Terry. No, it
Yeah.
wouldn't have worked.
It wouldn't have
Yeah.
worked.
It wouldn't have worked.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
narcissism would have
Because
been too
Terry at
much.
her
Yeah.
core is a good-hearted person. She just was broken, but once she got the help that she needed and she healed and she became mentally healthy, she became the person who she was always going to be. So you get to
But see,
see
that's why
that.
we got to see the story, like Donna said, because we
You do
can't let
see
the
the
fake
story.
Terry. But no,
You
no,
do
I
see
mean
the
from the
story through Dark Cloud. You see the stories
right.
through Christmas, and you do
No,
see
no,
the story for
I mean the background from the
Valentine.
connection of from the memory loss until, like you said, the accident. There's a
Yeah.
gap there that you can definitely fill in because that
You are
that
going to see
shows
that.
so much more. Yeah,
You definitely are going to see that. That's the whole
yeah,
point of me rewriting the part two.
yeah. See, that's
Yeah.
going to show everybody the difference to those of us who have read the book to see it and then go back and say, "Oh, okay, hit that right. All right, okay. Go ahead,
Hmm.
Sonya. She put Terry out in the middle of the night. Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Oh yeah, that's
yeah,
good.
yeah.
That's
You'll
good.
you'll get to see a totally different scenario. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you're right. Terry losing her memory and the way she treated Sonia. When she gains her memory back, she still has the memories of how she
Hmm.
treated Sonia, and she saw how
yeah.
Sonia reacted and how Sonia evolved. So she
Right.
saw her in a different light.
Yes. Yes. And
Yeah,
that's because what you want to convey to the audience is that you can have all kinds of traumatic experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Those experiences are not meant to break you, but
Mm-hmm.
to
right,
perfect you.
But
right.
they
Okay,
do break you until you learn how to.
right. And so as you
Yeah,
heal emotionally,
right,
you begin to use those experiences to help you grow
right,
and set a precedent for others to
right,
see
Right.
it and grow. And
right,
so all of that secrecy that CJ did,
right.
that was messed up because
Yeah, they
her
did.
fan
Yeah.
base needed to see that.
Yeah,
They
Exactly.
needed to
Yeah,
be able to
that was
exercise
huge.
some compassion
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, with her.
Yeah.
It was a mistake and it backfired. So it was
It
it was
was
Yeah.
a
it
mistake.
was it was a mistake. And again, CJ is her dad. Sonya
Right,
is
Yeah.
her wife.
right,
She
Yeah.
should have stepped up and
right,
said, no,
Right.
her fans deserve to know what has happened.
right.
But then also too how they went like initially they were all down with Zion and CJ because they had a chance. They felt like they said, well, because Ann always was jealous of Joyce and that relationship.
Hmm.
So now she's calling me mommy, she's coming to me and she's doing this. And I get that. But
Hmm.
you did her no favors by
Mm-hmm.
doing this. Like you said,
Right.
if more people had known that she had lost her memory, then the Zion thing would have never happened. Then of course we would have the book then. So but you know how
Yeah.
things can go. So
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
you see this, and I tell T all the time, I said when people are talking good, bad, or indifferent, that lets you know you have something out there worth reading. Because
Right.
if people don't have
Right.
opinion, like, oh, okay, I read it and that's it, then okay, well, damn, But if people are
Right.
saying, man, just like a TV,
Right.
like, and I think about this, like the color purple.
Mm.
And, they redoing the color purple, and they're going to put a new rebooted color purple out.
Oh, they
And I
are?
remember when, yeah. And they, remember when color purple came out, we
Mm.
just knew that they were going to win every Oscar nomination. We knew they were going to win.
Right.
But then you had people who came out, well, you portraying black men to be this, that, all the negative things that came about. And Color Purple, and you want to talk about a movie of redemption,
Mm.
of
Right.
perseverance,
Mm-hmm.
of no matter how far down and everything that this person went through, look at the end result where
Mm-hmm.
she ended. So
Mm-hmm.
but they couldn't see that because, oh, you calling us out. No, it's fiction, but you get involved with these characters that you forget all about that. But
Mm.
look at what
Right.
Mr. had to do. Look how he treated her.
Right.
And in the end, look what happened to him. But
Right.
then she had the grace to
Right.
sit there, going up and have some tea with us, like So that's what I'm saying. So when you read these stories, you see all of these things. You get involved with these characters. It's like
Right.
we on that boat with them for
Mm.
that Valentine's Day cruise, family reunion / cruise that you talking about. You get caught up with these
Yeah.
Right.
characters. You
Right.
know,
Right.
so that yeah, so that's why when you talk about hey, whoa, wait a minute now, Terry, you it's like you take it personal that Terry did this to Sonya. Like, oh hell no, or how Aaron with her
Right.
split it behind, so you take it
Right.
personal. You
Mm.
take it personal. So yeah,
I think I'd like to see a story with Chris in it too.
With who?
Chris, the
Oh,
designer.
Hodges.
I thought about him
Yeah.
too. I
Yeah.
sure did. I thought about him.
I'm like,
I said,
when did
oh,
this
okay.
become what
Well,
he's getting a new men's line? So this is why this guy is here, you know?
yeah.
Really?
I don't know why I thought
Yeah.
about that too. I
Yeah,
Because
thought
that
about
wasn't
Christmas
in the
morning.
he
original.
never really had a men's line.
Exactly. But
Right.
that was not part of the original.
No.
It was just
Yeah.
Zion was just a model.
Yeah,
But
Zion approached Chris and
right,
he knew how to work the game, but he was so
Yeah.
right.
he was so good looking and unique.
And that's
Chris
what we got to
design.
see this time around that
Yeah.
we didn't see the last time around. It's just he
Right.
just kind
Right.
of was there. And it's like,
Right.
Yeah. He
okay,
was
what
just
was
there.
his
Yeah.
purpose?
Right.
Whereas now
Yeah.
we see that this guy was shady from the beginning.
Shady.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was an opportunist.
He was yeah, absolutely.
And
Yeah.
he was
And
using
and
everybody
an
around her
opportunist who
to get
fell
to
in love with
Terry.
Terry. Yeah.
Whether it
Yep.
was
Yeah.
Chris, CJ,
Yeah.
Jasmine, it
Yeah.
didn't
Mm-hmm.
matter.
Yeah.
Yep, didn't matter. He did not. It
So
did not matter. Yeah,
we got
I
to
told
see
you,
that
Tia,
this
you
time.
were. It was
So
brilliant how you changed it up. It was
Yeah.
brilliant how you
thank
changed
you.
it up.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's the best
yeah.
work.
It was. It's
It's the
best.
fun I
Yeah, you
enjoy.
changed it up because
It's
we about to kill Terry, fake Terry at
y'all
first.
go
It was a
y'all
trip.
go Richard.
Yeah.
I know when she pulled up when her and Ted pulled up to the condo and the way she treated Sonya. Oh yeah, I was like, oh you man. And then all of a sudden, everything. But but see, Sonya came out and she remembered that. And
Hmm.
you see Sean and everybody telling him, but be careful, Sonya. This is not your wife and everything. But it's hard to tell someone because that is your wife. I keep to me
Hmm.
whether she
Hmm.
lost him, that that's your wife.
Right.
So you can't say
Exactly.
that's not true. You know she could.
It
So
is.
either you're gonna be with her, or you're, like I said, you were gonna either divorce and let her go on about her business, or you're gonna be there with her if she wants to be with you, or you just gonna have to sit back and let with however you can't, straddle the fence too hard, because that is your wife. Period. And
Yeah.
so, whether she
Correct.
remembers you or not, people, if you're married and you lose your memory, you don't just up and leave and go and get with somebody else.
Right.
You
They bring
hope
you home.
not.
Yeah. I always, hey, Donna, I always turn things on T. I said, now, would you do that with your husband? I said, would you do? And she was like, okay. I said, I'm just saying, you
Right.
write these, now I want to see you boss up like this.
It's fiction. Well, I'd like to say it's fictional. The characters are fictional, but the
Fictional. Yep.
situations are real
Are
life
real.
Mhm.
Real
situations,
life. Real life takes place.
and they
Yep.
do occur.
They do.
Yep. They do.
They
They
do.
do.
And
They do.
so,
They
so
do.
it has to be relatable and believable.
They.
Yep.
And that's what
And
sells the book.
and
Mhm.
that's what
We love
sells the
these
book.
characters, you
Yeah.
know, so, and and we love to not like some of the other ones, you
Terry,
Mm-hmm.
know.
Yep.
you love to hate.
Aaron.
No, Aaron, I told you I
Aaron
don't
Oh,
and
like
Aaron.
them.
Ted.
So who do you?
Aaron and Ted both. They
Aaron,
deserve each other. I don't like neither one.
Aaron,
Aaron and Ted
Aaron
deserve
is
each other.
Aaron is a particular character. So yeah,
And I don't like early Terry.
of
I don't
course,
like Ellie Terry either. Yeah.
yeah.
I don't like Ted. I don't like Ted. I don't
Oh
like
yeah,
Ted
I didn't
either.
like Ted either because he
Franklin.
knew what was happening as well.
You are married.
Everybody can't be the good guys. So some of them had to be bad.
That's only two. Well, I mean, but Ted, when he was really a trip. You knew they had,
Oh, who
and
Ted? Oh yeah,
hey Donna,
he was so entitled.
but you know
He was
what,
so
Donna?
entitled.
You know what I
Mhm.
thought about how so many guys,
Mm-hmm.
they do not respect the fact that,
Right,
oh, you
right.
married this female. I don't
A
have to
woman.
respect that, a
Yeah,
Right,
woman, and that's why Ted did that, because he didn't. Oh,
right,
that ain't nothing. I'm not
yeah,
worried about that. I'm
right.
a man. I'm always going to take precedent over that.
Exactly.
And that's why I did not like his character, because
mm-hmm.
no
Right,
matter what, you knew she was married. It didn't make a difference who she was married to,
right.
but you didn't care.
So it was
And
that
that you see that a
misogyny
lot,
right
that
there.
misogyny. Yep, that's
Yeah,
Yep.
it. That misogyny.
And
Yep.
yeah.
but what I wanted to get more of,
Mm-hmm.
and you alluded to this in Valentine's, that that the Weinsteins or whoever they were made their money from the backs of slaves.
Yes. Yes.
And it was like, how?
Yes. Yes.
And the fact that you would sell 90% of your clinics to give
90.
back to families,
Yes.
why? And
Why?
why didn't you choose to do things differently?
Yeah.
Throwing money at families isn't anything, but
Yeah.
what about operating
90%.
free clinics and
Right.
things like that? And why would you walk away from that legacy to build something else when you had an opportunity to fix that legacy?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I thought the same
Okay,
thing.
Mm-hmm.
that's what
I
I
see
was
a book.
thinking.
I see an old historical book that Tia don't like to read. I see it. I read history book and novels, and I tell her, she said, I don't like that. I said, I read them because,
Well,
especially when it's brought
we'll
up.
have to see what happened there. So,
Yeah, because
Yeah,
yeah, I'm
are
glad
you
you brought that, because I
intrigued?
had forgot about that.
right.
Uh-huh.
Because I told you that last name, I said, I don't know any black people with that name. Are they Jewish?
I Googled it, and I said, and I looked, and I said, wait a minute now. I was okay. This happened for real, because I know a lot of stuff we put in books. It is real life, so I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
okay. And,
yeah,
at first, then what else I thought? I said, okay, now, uh, Sonya's people, they come from that old doctor line that they cross. I'm like, my mind was
yeah,
just whirling. I forgot all about it till you mentioned it. I should
yeah.
have wrote it
Notice
down.
the wines low. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I said I thought about that. I said, because I was wondering the same thing, Donna. I was like,
Hmm.
man, because that threw me for a loop. I'm like, where the hell did this come from?
Right. It's
You
like,
you
what?
you you remember in the villa for the granny, the grandfather didn't want John didn't
Yep,
want him Wilbert to have anything to do with her. Remember?
nothing at all.
She
Yep,
was
I
a nurse.
remember.
Right.
Yep, and
Initially,
she didn't come
right.
from who are her
Yeah,
people? Who are your people? Yeah,
yeah,
where did you come? So
yeah.
that's what I thought about, and I was like,
So
whoa, where did this? Yeah,
So
you threw that out the blue, man.
so
You threw that out
so
the blue.
we might be seeing some
I can see it.
history
I can see it.
to
I
see
can
what
see it.
happened.
Yeah, and how
I can
they
see it.
in the age gap between the two brothers.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
yeah,
Years
yeah,
and
yeah.
and do they have the same father?
right?
Right,
Or do they have other
right,
siblings?
or
And
the
why
same
wasn't the
mother? Yeah.
legacy,
So
why
we'll
weren't
see.
they turned away from the quote unquote legacy? Did they have other siblings?
yeah. The
Mhm.
90%
You
is a lot. Like you say, I'm like, whoa, that's everything.
yeah, that's a lot.
And then why
Yeah.
didn't you, like you said, why didn't you take it and build upon and put these,
Yeah.
all through Compton and everything else,
Yeah.
Right.
neighborhoods and clinics
Yeah.
and stuff like that? Why didn't you do that
I mean,
instead of
they
that?
did
I know
take the
them
10%
establishments was
and
good.
build free clinics and stuff in San Diego. So they say
Yeah,
they are doing what they should have did in San Diego, but they're not using
right,
the money, that money. So
right. Yeah,
we'll,
yeah.
we'll
That's okay.
And if they
I'm
really
with you.
wanted to distance themselves from the legacy, why didn't they just change their last name?
Right, exactly.
Okay,
Yeah,
that is
yeah.
definitive that
I'm glad you brought that up,
I
Donna. I had
don't
forgot all
relate
about that.
anymore.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm glad you brought because I thought about that too. I was like, oh, what? I'm Google. Like I said, I did a Google like on that name. I said, I know that's probably a fake name, but it'll bring you if the story is related to something else. The
Mhm.
names have been changed from anything
Hmm.
is similar. That little line they tell you on
Sure.
TV. So that's what I was thinking. I'm glad you brought that up
Maybe
because
they did change their name. Maybe
could
their
have been,
name's
yeah,
not Wiselow.
maybe DuPont.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, yeah,
I just don't know why they would distance themselves in that manner as
yeah.
opposed to doing
That's
something
drastic,
different.
Yeah.
drastic.
Because
Yeah,
we
yeah,
know that a lot of those people, those plantation owners that had biracial children, they were the ones that would give land grants to build HBCUs.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
they were technically our only path to higher education at that time, and they were doing it for their biracial children.
Hmm.
Right.
Okay, and so if you're gonna do it, then I would have liked to have seen something happen in North Carolina,
Yeah,
particularly around
Well,
Appalachia,
well,
yeah.
about around what?
in the Appalachian communities,
Okay.
where you have a lot of people that are impoverished,
Right.
Hmm.
you know,
West Virginia
particularly
area.
since
Yeah.
that's where the
Yeah.
clinics
Something.
were.
Yeah. Something is. That's a story. Yeah. You get.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm looking
that's a
forward to that one. That's
story.
a story. Yeah. That's a story.
So,
Uh-oh. Am I
what
rubbing
you
off on
doing,
you, T?
Tia?
Am I rubbing off on you? Because I'm always talking
I
about
don't
these
know.
historical books that I
It's
read.
something I gotta. It's something I gotta think about.
Well, you want to open up the door. You don't
Of
want to open
course,
the door.
of course.
Hmm. It's just it'll be interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. It will be.
Particularly in that era that their parents probably grew up in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe Jim Crow South. Maybe the
Hmm.
grandparents are part
Yeah.
of Jim Crow South. So were they part of Reconstruction, which
Yeah.
allowed them to go to medical school?
Yeah.
Right.
We just don't know.
Yeah.
So,
We. Yeah.
but
Yep.
when you said that in the book, I was like, what?
Yeah.
What?
That's true.
Be-
I thought the same
because
thing.
initially, that was part of their history.
Hmm.
Oh, you're the Weinsteins and you guys had this going on, much like Sonya's, history that her
Hmm.
parents had these hospitals and all of that. And so
Hmm.
here we have two unique situations where two different
Yeah.
families
Yeah.
are really interested in the medical profession to the
Yeah.
point where they have clinics.
Yeah.
And then now it's gone.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't know when that name was changed. So
Right,
Right.
right,
there's history behind it. And
right.
and you guys read my memoir where my
Hmm.
great grandfather is General Beauregard, and
Yeah.
his he had his biracial daughter. He sent her away, and that's what happened with us, and then why we were in Ohio. But the story that was told to me was they didn't know their identity, so they called this woman mama, and they had all this Confederate information up in the attic, and the kids didn't even know what it was. and so they
Wow.
didn't. Yeah, and they didn't know, and so that's something they found out later,
Mm-hmm.
later in life. So that
Okay.
And that's all of our story, basically. Most of us, anyway.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's the same. When you go
yeah,
back a couple generations, and
yeah,
and that's the thing that I tell. You explain to people, because I read so much historical fiction,
mm-hmm,
Mm-hmm.
nonfiction as well. Is
Yeah,
mm-hmm,
me
that
too.
you look at me now, and this is
mm-hmm.
what you see.
Right,
Peel back 2 or 3 generations, you don't know who's standing in the kitchen.
right,
Right.
I may have been the one on the veranda. So you
right.
don't know that. And
You
so
don't know.
Right.
because we don't know our history,
Right.
now with the DNA and all that stuff, you can, you got the census records up, and you can go back and pull up and compare some notes and stuff. But,
Yeah.
you know, I was telling Tia, I have a 102-year-old great aunt that is
Mhm.
still in her right mind and everything. We have been able to pull so much history from
Yeah.
her
That's a
Nice.
that we never knew,
yeah.
never would have known. You live to be this old, and you still have your mind where you can talk and tell us.
Right.
So, you, yeah, that is, and when you talk about the medical mysteries, that's the start. You got to trace it all the way to, because I would
Right.
like to know, because I was thinking the same thing. Man, wait a minute, where did this come from?
Mhm.
Right. Right.
It's just in the book, and I'm like, it's not Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
Right.
you didn't think it's strange that Ted and Sean just walked away from the clinics and built something in San Diego?
I did. Because I was wondering. I'm like, what is the word? I said, well, maybe they expand. Maybe they decide, okay, we'll do something different. And you know how some people, especially when you're rich, you want to say that you were
Yeah.
self-made and did
Yeah.
your own. So you
Yeah.
I
want to
didn't think
rely
much
on your
of it
name.
because their father was
Yeah,
dating Dr. Saber. So I figured,
yeah,
He wasn't always though.
right, but I still figured that, the relationship was still intact, even though they wanted to do something different.
Mhm.
Because we're talking about moving from North Carolina
yeah,
to the West Coast. So
yeah,
maybe the expansion was going to occur from one coast to the
It
other.
wasn't
yeah.
it
That's
wasn't
yeah,
an expansion.
Well, we don't know.
Something new.
We
Yeah.
didn't really know that
Yeah.
yeah. We
until
didn't
we
know. We just
saw
thought that they opened up to
this in
something else.
Valentine's,
Yeah, exactly.
and especially given the fact that they were still in relationship with their father.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
there was no indication that that was a story.
Yeah.
I just figured, hey, they've just expanding the way, any other company. I mean, you got T&E on both coasts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
now you
right.
got
Exactly.
the medical facilities on both coasts.
Right.
Sonya's parents in Boston,
Yep.
so they're out east as well.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
now we're bi-coastal. The whole family's bi-coastal.
No, they weren't
Yep.
bi-coastal.
So this is what I was thinking. So,
Right.
hmm
Right.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens during the medical mysteries.
okay,
Yeah. That's it. There you
that'll
go.
be interesting.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Very, very much so. Hmm
All right.
Huh.
In any other questions or
Ah,
comments?
I'm good. I'm just,
Yep. Yep.
kind of sorry to see the end of Stranger. I
Uh-huh.
I
know, I know
know.
it's inevitable, but it's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. You got to end it. Yeah.
I'll probably be still grieving
Yeah.
because I enjoyed it so much. But now that I have all of the episodes, I can start from the beginning and read through it
You can go
again
back and read. Yep. You can go back and read it.
without any interruption or waiting until another episode drop or blah. I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And this
hmm
and this has and you like you said, you see the evolution of both people, and it's like,
hmm
wow. Yeah.
yep,
And my friend, that's what she says. She says, "Oh my God, this is." Since I had her read Stranger first
Mm-hmm.
to where
hmm
before she caught up before, and I told her only read up until Terri, if Sonya comes to meet Terri, then go back and read the other books. And that's what I had her do. And she read the part after Terri had a memory. I said, now pick up from where Sonya met Terri for the first time, fake Terri for the first time. And so she could see the difference. Yeah,
yep,
she could see the difference. So
yep,
I was telling
yep.
Terri, I was telling Tia, I said, I said, the lady always tells me, she said, girl, she said, this is really, I really like these characters. She's like, I know these people.
Yeah.
You know, because she's a
Mhm.
nurse. So I'm looking around
She's
for
a
Sonya.
nurse.
She's a nurse.
Mhm.
Oh wow.
Yeah. She said,
Yeah.
like she gonna see Sonya walk through there with her white coat on and everything. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, she caught up at her boy. So yeah.
Nice.
So,
All right, ladies. I think.
All right, then that's it for me. All right, y'all.
all right. It's been fun as normal.
Oh yeah. Oh, hey, well, I guess Tia, you'll tell Donna what I said about the CD, so I don't want to be broadcasting
Oh
on the
yeah,
live
I
thing
will.
yet. So yeah,
I will.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
All
All
right.
right. Thanks,
Okay.
guys.
Have a
Bye.
All
good
righty.
day.
You too. Bye.
Bye bye.